folks, and welcome to another little episode today of Real Country with Jeff and Melony. I'm not sure about the count. Oh goodness, I'm about to lose my sunglasses. The count of what day I said I was going to come back and we're going to take a look at the little pictures, see if we got anything on camera. But I just happened to be near the camera yesterday, and I stayed out of its way where I didn't get on camera yesterday. But when I had put the corn out a few days back, I did notice looked like most of it was gone without me getting too close. So I'm kind of anxious to see what's been going on. We may have something fun to look at, or we may just see a bunch of birds and squirrels, or maybe an old raccoon. But even though it's a long time till deer season, I'm curious to know. So I'm slipping back down here, and I'm going to pull the SD card out, put in a clean one, and in a little while we'll take a look and see. And maybe I'll have something pretty to show you. Maybe I won't. But like we said, this is real. And I don't have the best property. I don't have a lot of acreage. You may not see anything. We may see something pretty. But we fixing to find out. So let me turn this around, and I'll probably voice over, cut it off as I do the work, unless I can find a good way to prop this camera up. So let's turn around and see what we can do. Okay. It is beautiful back here. Hot and muggy, but it's beautiful. Yeah, look at that. Y'all remember how I had kind of poured it on there good. The ground's so hard, I don't know if I'm going to see any kind of tracks. I don't know. That might be one right here to the right of that grass. I'm not sure. But anyway, let me sneak out of the range. And all right, I'm gonna stop for a second. Well, let's see if I can set this one up to show what we do. Bear with me. This little camera holder I got is very short-legged, so let's see if I can place it where we can see. I don't know. Let's tune it up. Maybe. Excuse my ugly hand. I don't know. That's kind of low. Let's see here. Maybe on this log. I don't know. See if I can get behind it and take a look. Yeah, this is going to be problematic. So let me just stop, and I'll pick it back up when we get done. All right, folks. Well, I've swapped it out and put in a fresh, clean card. And like I said, we're going to see what happens. Hopefully we're going to have some pictures. I'm looking around here now. You see that ground's tore up right there. I did sprinkle a little extra in the area to try to draw them up. So let's walk down here and look at the other areas I put some. You can see something has kicked up the leaves right here. It may be the buddies I'm wanting to see. It may be birds and squirrels. Might even be chipmunks or your friendly neighborhood raccoon. But they kicking around here. Something is definitely visited. And like I said, we won't know till we take a look. And for anybody that just happened to hear that train whistle, we are nowhere near a railroad track. Hey, somebody thinks it's cute to have let me flip this around real quick. Somebody thinks it's cute to put one of them whistles on a vehicle. I'm all for having fun, but that's not a good game. I know one time I was about to cross the railroad track, and the guy pulled up behind me, and I had looked to make sure nothing was coming. But I heard that, and you want to talk about waking you up and getting your attention and making you mad. There's a time and place for anything, and I love to cut up and have a good time, but messing around with a train horn, no matter what it's on, at a railroad crossing, that's not real smart. But anyway, getting back to what's normal. All right, so in a little while, I'll sit down and check these out. Hopefully we're going to have some pictures. And either way, I will update us on the outcome in just a little bit. Now, it may be a couple of hours, but to y'all, it'll be just a couple of seconds on the video. So stay tuned, and in a little while, hopefully we'll have something great to show you. All right, folks. Well, as you can see, I did get a few pictures off the trail camera. Like I said, nothing spectacular, and I won't bore you with all of them. But for it to be out just a few nights, I was surprised. Like I said, where I'm at, there's no such thing as trophy management around where we live. And I hate to say it, the genetics aren't real good either. I've mentioned that before in a previous video. But like I said, we have a few does. I think it's the same group. I'm guessing we got about 4 does and at least 1 little buck. And I actually got some raccoons coming to dinner with us. But as you can see right here, we have 3 deer in this picture. And I'm just going to take you through and show you what I thought was the best pictures. Took a lot of pictures. Some of it was the wind blowing the trees. Birds had flown by and just caught a glimpse of them. But here's 3 deer, and you can see they've come to the salt lick, and I had put out a little corn for the camera. Like I said, I don't put out corn and hunt over it in the wintertime when it's deer season, even though it's legal where I'm at. I don't do it. This is just to kind of keep them hanging around the area in between deer seasons. So let's go to the next picture. Most of these are for daylight, but we actually have a few during the daytime. I think that's the same 3. They just raised their heads up. And there's one came by in the evening. I took different little shots, so I think that's the same one. Like I said, nothing spectacular, but they look healthy. You can tell they got their reddish summer coat on. There she comes in for a close-up toward the camera. And there's another one early in the morning. And there's a group of 4. And I believe this was the same group of deer. One just walked out of frame. You'd get one, then you'd have the second one show up, sometimes a third, sometimes a fourth. Here's one early in the morning in daylight. Like I said, they all seem healthy, and I'm guessing averaging around 100 pounds on the hoof. There's a group of 4. Came by one night. And then there's some in the afternoon. And one of the pictures, I noticed there is a young buck. It may be this picture. If you look real close at his head, looks to have a couple inches, little spikes started in the velvet. Yeah, I believe that's it. That shows his little nubs. Let me see if I can zoom in a little. Yeah, if you look right there, you can see his little spikes, a couple inches high. And like I said, they're having a field day eating what's left of that corn around the salt, licking the salt. And this is at night, and there's Mr. Raccoon done come in. You can see they're kind of looking at it funny. There's another one. Like I said, they all seem healthy. Several of them have the long nose, so they're adults. Didn't have a fawn. Now that girl right there, and I think it's kind of late in the year, but either she's been eating very good or she may be pregnant. I thought it was kind of late for them to be having fawns this time of year, but hey, who knows? Didn't have any fawns in any of the pictures. And there's little Mr. Coon walking away. And let's see here. And that's the last one. Like I said, nothing really spectacular, nothing to get real excited about, no monster bucks, but it's still early, got a lot of time between now and then. Might get lucky and see a big boy in the velvet, but you never know. It'd shock me if we did. We just really don't have good genetics here. We've been living here around 20 years, give or take, or actually a little over 20 years. And all that time, I've only ever seen one respectable 8-pointer. And like I said, that was just like the first year or so we were here, and it wasn't hunting season when I saw him. But he walked off, and that was great. Had several other deer with him, and never saw that group again. But anyway, just thought I'd make this little video. When I took this SD card down, I replaced it immediately with a new one. So we'll let it soak for maybe a week or so and see if we got any updates, anything different. I did go back out later on this afternoon and put a little bit more corn out because they had wiped out the little bit I had put out before. So if we get them coming, maybe we can get some pictures of some baby fawns as it goes on, or maybe a big buck. But anyway, I'll wrap up this little segment on the deer and the deer camera, and we'll move on to something different.
Good afternoon, and I have another short little cooking segment for you. What I'm doing today is I'm freezing eggs because our chickens are putting out so many eggs every day. We do give some to family. We've given some to veteran home and different people, different places, but we still have quite a few that I have to put somewhere and can't keep all of them in the refrigerator. What I do is I take my muffin pan, and this is a well-loved muffin pan. This one's one that we've had since we've been married, 36 years come August. So it's a very well-loved muffin pan. It holds 12, you can see. And I get 12 fresh eggs. These have not been in the refrigerator. These are fresh from like the last 3 or 4 days. And I add 1 egg to it, because when I do 12 eggs and I pour them into my muffin pan, I usually come a little short on one of them, so I just do 13 into 12 muffin pans. The first step is to take your pan and spray your muffin pan so that when you take them out of the freezer, they won't stick. Alright, so we've done that. Then the next step is, did you get the eggs? I'm asking my camera guy, did he come in and get a shot of the eggs?
Yes, I did, but I'll get some more. We got eggs.
We got eggs. You can see there's 13 of them in there. And so,
One, two. Okay.
So what you want to do when you want to scramble these, you don't want to put them in here. Now some people may, but I do not. This is how I'm doing them. I scramble them, and you try to scramble them not getting as least air as possible into your scrambled eggs. And normally, you know, if you're going to eat these scrambled or whatever, then, or you're using them for bacon, you know, like I would pull my fork up, or I'd have a whisk. I'd want to incorporate air into them. But here I do not. I'm going to turn this around where I can hold the handle. There will be some air in it, but when you have a lot of air in this and you put it in the freezer, you're going to have some freezer burn. So I'm trying to break the yolks up and mix them with the white so that when I pour them in the pan, they will be scrambled in each one. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to shake it on the bottom, tap it on the bottom. Sometimes that will get rid of some air bubbles. I don't have a lot of air bubbles, but I do have a few. So I'm going to take a little spoon, and you can pull the air bubbles to the side. And if you kind of pull up, it sort of releases the air. And of course, you know, I'm a perfectionist with this. I don't like to have one air bubble. But I'm not going to make y'all suffer through me getting rid of every air bubble. I don't have too many in here. I'm pretty satisfied with this as it is.
Think you missed one.
Thank you, Mr. Camera Guy.
You brought me in here.
I do have Jeff filming for me today because, you know, I miss him when I'm in here in the kitchen. I want him to suffer in here with me, so, you know.
And boy, do I suffer.
All right, so now my next step is I'm going to pour enough in each little muffin to pretty much fill it up, and I'm going to strain it through the fork. It makes a little mess. But you kind of see what we're doing here. And this is just a way to have fresh eggs in the winter time when your chickens aren't putting out that many eggs or none at all. It does get kind of scarce, especially around the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, when you're using a lot of eggs due to baking and, you know, cakes and dressings and things like that. And you can, and each one of these would be the equivalent of one egg. And it's like it's already scrambled when you go to defrost it. And all defrosting is just pulling out your egg from the bag you're going to put it in to keep it until you need it. And just putting it in the refrigerator for a few minutes until it's defrosted. Okay, so now if Mr. Cameraman has a picture of all that, I have a few that have some bubbles in it. So I'm going to take my spoon and try to get the bubbles up on the sides. I'm probably going to have some bubbles somewhere, but I don't want a lot of bubbles because I don't want a lot of freezer burn.
I told you missed a bubble.
I'm a bubble off plum. That's really what he wanted to tell you. Oh, he tells me that all the time. And I'm okay with that because, you know, I don't take it serious. think that looks pretty good. All right, so now I'm going to tell you the steps, and then we're going to take this and put it in the freezer. We're not going to cover it. It's going to go in there just as it is. We're going to let it freeze a couple of hours. Then Jeff and I will be back to show you how I released them from the muffin tin, and then I already have a bag fixed up, and then I place them in this bag for storage until I need them. Okay? So they're going in the freezer. I'm looking at the time. My time right now is 5:30. So we'll be back after 7:30 our time. It'll be just a second or two for y'all to end the video on how to freeze eggs. Hey, we're back. It's been a few hours, and this is what they look like when you pull them out of the freezer. And what I'm going to do now is take them over to the sink where I have just a little bit of water, just enough to cover the bottom of it. Set them down, get a knife and a fork in my bag, and see if I can just get them turned loose just like that. I wouldn't leave them in the water too long though, because they'll start melting on the bottom. Don't ask me how I know that. Experience. But basically, I'm just popping them out. Sometimes if you get across one that's sticking, just put it back in there for another minute. And work on another one. It's pretty easy. And like I said, whenever you get ready to use them, just take out whatever you need, put it in a bowl, set it in the refrigerator for probably about 15 or 20 minutes, and they'll be good enough for you to use. They'll be just like a scrambled egg. I mean, which it is a scrambled egg. So anyway, if y'all have any questions, please comment, let us know. I'll be glad to answer it. Sometimes you'll pop them up and they'll fly. Don't ask me how I know that either. Alright. Then usually what I do is I take my cloth and wipe off the bag a little bit, in case I had something on my hands. And I try to get the air. I try to line them up 4 in each row, but these aren't wanting to do right. But I try to get the air out of them as best I can. You could even use a straw. Everybody knows the little straw thing. I don't use that all the time, but I try to just get as much of it out as I can and seal the bag, and then it goes back in the freezer. Back in the freezer till you get ready to use them again. Alright, so that's it. It's easy. It's very efficient. And Jeff and I appreciate y'all joining us today. And please hit like and subscribe. And if good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise, we will see you down the road. Bye-bye.